All right. Hi, all. We're here on Motherly Love, and I'm your host, Amber Celestial Angel. And today, our lovely mom featured is Paige Stanton. So, hi, Paige.
Hello. Awesome. Thank you for having me here. You are such a gem. I've really enjoyed getting to know you, and yeah, just super honored that you asked me to be on here. And yeah, you're just such a sweet soul. So yeah, very honored to know you. So my name is Paige Stanton, and gosh, I'm a mama, a wife. I've got two beautiful boys. Thought I wanted to be a girl mama, but I'm a boy mama, and it works for me, and I love it so much. And I have a 2-year-old. He's super wild. Thankfully, he's not here because he would be too much right now. Very curious. He's an explorer. I love him so much. And then I have Indigo. He's a month old, and he is just beyond especially right now. It's like this is the perfect stage. The newborn, they just sleep all day. They're with mama. So I'm very blessed to have two amazing, healthy boys. And I had 2 home births, and they were very different, but absolutely perfect in their own way. And so goodness, let's see. Trying to think, where do I even start? So I definitely was not always natural minded growing up. I think I grew up like the average American, just with all the things, all the, processed foods, all these things I didn't really know weren't so great like most of us do. And I grew up, gosh, I'll start kind of in school. I know we were just chatting. I have dyslexia. I have a hard time even saying that these days because I don't even like the label, because I realize, oh, that's not who I am. That's just something that I dealt with growing up, and it's not something that I really even feel like is attached to me anymore, which is a blessing to kind of break that belief. But I struggled so much in school, and I felt like everyone was telling me, unless I fit in this box, you're not going to make it in this life. Everyone needs to be right here. And it's not that I didn't care in school. I tried so hard. And and yeah, I mean, if anybody knows about the Enneagram numbers, I'm a 2. I'm the helper. I just want to please people and serve people. And, and so I really did, I tried so hard. I wanted to please my parents in school, and I wanted to get good grades. I wanted to just be where everybody else was. And I had to have special handouts, and I just had a really hard time in school. And what's crazy is that all growing up, I just I think not so much about what happened that made me the way I am. It's about what I made it mean about myself. And so it's not even just the events that kind of traumatized me later on. It's about what I made it mean, which what I made that mean was I'm dumb and I'm just not going to make it. And it sounds really brutal, but that's kind of what it boils down to. And so just, yeah. And I will say I'm a photographer and graphic artist. So I'm definitely on the artistic side, and I make pom-pom earrings, and I just have all kinds of passions, and I love that. Oh goodness. So yeah, that was kind of my life growing up, essentially. That was the belief that I took on, and it really just like shot my confidence. And so, yeah, really kind of crazy time, but so glad breaking out of that now, diving into personal development kind of accidentally, didn't really, but nothing's accidental, let's be real. And, but it takes something to really like break that belief. It wasn't something that just happened, like, cool, now it's gone. It's something I had to keep. I'm very much into like how powerful your thoughts are in the world that they create outside here. And so it was, it took something for me to realize, oh, those are just thoughts. I don't actually, you kind of in that realm, the easier it gets. So, and I'm sorry, I don't really have a flow here. I don't have gosh, what am I saying? I don't have notes. I'm just flowing. So bear with me. But yeah, that's kind of just how it all started. And I just, and so I'm 28 now, so I'll say that. So obviously I've been out of school for quite a while, but, and I thought, photography for sure is what I'm running with. And I have, I have the dream camera, the thing that I thought, oh, well, as long as I have this camera, then I will be where I need to be. And then I got that camera and I'm like, okay, you know, we always think like, oh, well, until I've obtained this, or until I look like this, or until, you know, then I will have. So wow, actually that's probably one of the best things that I've learned is it's easier if I draw it out, but think of a triangle, right? And then at the top, it says do, over here it says have, and then over here it says be. So we always think, I know this is gonna make sense. Have you heard this before?
No,
so we think,
keep going.
Oh no? Okay, cool. It's amazing. And I wish I could give you guys the visual, but we'll kind of work like this. So everybody thinks we gotta do. We gotta run, we gotta hustle, we gotta like do the things in order to have the results that we want. And then we'll be the amazing divine person that we were born to be, right? Right. So crazy. It really needs to be switched. So we gotta start by being. Yeah, I know you know that. I see that in you. We gotta start by being. Then we'll do the things that that person would do in order to be that person, right? Because we're that person, you know? We are that beautiful person that is just like shining our light. So we're gonna do those things and then we're gonna have the results. But so that was one of the most, I get chills thinking about it. That was one of the most profound things I've ever heard, because yeah, we're always, and that's kind of just like our society, how we've been conditioned to just think, unless you're hustling, unless you put in the blood, sweat, and tears, you're not gonna be that person you want to be. And it's really wild to think that we could just be that by thinking, you know, we can think ourselves into this life, you know. And so it's been really, that's why affirmations are so powerful. And for me, affirmations, gratitude has just completely altered my life, because I'm not focused on what's not there. I'm focused on, you know, we can't get more unless we're just appreciative and grateful for what we have now. And so I love Abraham Hicks. I don't know if you're an Abraham Hicks gal, but she's been a blessing to my life for sure. And just speaking, you know, that truth and just those affirmations into my life. And so goodness, where am I at now? So yeah, just that was life-changing. And okay, so yeah, I thought, okay, photographer, that's who I am, that's what I'm supposed to be. And I'm blessed to have those skills and I really love it. But there was something that, like, you know, something that wasn't getting me up excited in the morning to like go out and do that. Like I was like, there's something for me, you know, there's something different that I need to be, you know, doing out in the world. And so gosh, then I became a mama to Emory 2 years ago. And, you know, a lot changes when you're a mama too. A lot, your whole world is different. And I was, gosh, at the time, well, before that, I was a server at Cafe Gratitude. It's a plant-based organic restaurant. It's just like so much fun. They call it a cafe or school of transformation disguised as a cafe. So it's truly what it is. So it was like, if you're gonna work anywhere and be a server, that was the place. So it was such a beautiful place. They're actually all out in California, and Kansas City is the only one that's not in California. So don't know how we got so lucky, but I was working there. And then I eventually quit, and then I was a stay-at-home mom. I had a home birth to Emory. So beautiful, very long, 40+ hour labor. And I was grateful to have had that experience. A lot of people think, oh, you're so brave for having a home birth. But I was surrounded by mamas in my community that had done that several times, and I just knew that was the way to go. That was, and of course it was intimidating. It was a little scary because, you know, society says, oh, you're going to need all the doctor's support, medical attention. You're not capable of this, right? That's kind of how they tell us, you know, watch any movie and it's a horrible looking experience, which is so sad because women, we are more than capable of that. But I was very grateful to have had that experience. And even though it was challenging, it was, I did it, and I was capable and had the best midwife and doula and my mom and Shane, my husband. So it was a very beautiful experience. And, you know, I feel like with that love and care, I could get through anything. I think that's just, you know, so it wasn't this traumatic experience because I was held through all of it, you know? And so that was a blessing. But, you know, after that, I felt like, you know, I'm so grateful I could stay home with my baby. And, but I was lacking this like passion and direction. I was like, okay, so I'm so filled up with, you know, mama life and this precious, beautiful, healthy boy. But there was something that was just missing for me. And I didn't know, everything was new. You know, anything new, unfamiliar can seem scary. And that's why, if anybody you listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza, I love him as well. He is a brain scientist. It's in the documentary Heal. That's where I kind of first found out about him. But he, oh gosh, where was I going with this? Okay, maybe it'll come back to me. Oh, okay, sorry, it'll come back to me. But he's an amazing person, so I hope it does come back. So look him up if not. So sorry. Oh goodness, darn, I was going somewhere with that. But okay, essentially, I just wasn't sure what was next for me. Oh, that's right. Okay, got it now. Okay, Dr. Joe Dispenza. So I didn't realize that we really are addicted to these chemical reactions that happen within our body. You know, we're like, why do we think so negatively? Or I thought that. Why do these negative thoughts come up? And it's because we truly are addicted to that chemical response. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It's like we've just created that condition. And so our body just keeps going back into that. So if you're reliving a trauma, or why am I still heartbroken over this, or whatever, it's just that conditioning. And so to me, that was kind of empowering to know, oh, I'm not like broken, or there's nothing wrong with me. It's just, I need to train my body to think a different way. I need to create new, patterns in my brain to create a different response. So it's really cool to know that we have that power within ourselves. And he has an amazing story in that documentary Heal. And he was a cyclist. He was cycling in a marathon, and he got in a terrible accident, and he was going to be paralyzed. And the doctors were telling him, you're gonna go through this really intense surgery, and he said, no, like I'm going to heal my body through the power of my mind. Like, and that sounded totally crazy, and it took him months. I'm pretty sure he said months, but he completely recovered from that. And that was just like, yeah, unheard of. And so I can't talk about that documentary enough. I love it so much. But truly, through the power of thought and visualization, he healed his body. And so that's, we are all capable of that. If we're capable of manifesting, problems in our life, or stress, or whatever, we can create abundance and happiness and peace and love and whatever we want to create. And once again, it takes consistency to stay in that thought pattern, and just train your brain. We're rewiring our brain. So he actually has a whole series on that, and I love it. But okay, so essentially, anything new and unfamiliar is scary. The body is like, I don't know what this is. We don't know where we're going. What are we doing? We've never done this before. So that's kind of like what mamahood was like for me at first. It was beautiful and blissful, don't get me wrong. But there was this part of me that was like, oh, I'm so used to being out in the world and serving and connecting, and it's a blessing I get to be here, but there's not a whole lot of that anymore. and I'm looking for different ways to support my boy. And so I had a friend actually reach out to me about Young Living essential oils, and I knew about oils, and or I thought I did. And I used them before, and they smelled really good, right? That was kind of my experience. And I tried store-bought ones and other brands, and she was really just like, you really got to try this. And I'm like, okay, I'm open to it. I love anything natural wellness. I've been plant-based for almost 6 years, and we're just very much into natural remedies and, different alternative medicines. And so, yeah, I eventually bought this kit, and really it was just to support my boy and to keep him well. And I'm very, very blessed to say that my boys have never been to a hospital, and I love that so much. And because they were born at home, and we've just supported them, and I would go in a heartbeat if they had to. So there's a time and a place, absolutely, and I'm very grateful for their support if I ever needed it. But I'm just glad that I figured out a way to do just to keep them well at home. And so I was excited so he was about 4 months old when I first got started with my oils, and then eventually I just fell in love. I had a different experience I'd never had with essential oils, and I would say, yes, I wanted to have support with him and keeping him well and healthy, and of course all of us. But for me, I was actually very much looking for emotional support. I wouldn't say that I dealt with or anything like that, but I definitely, fears that came up, or, just the unknown, I was looking for ways to just yeah, just break free of that, you know, essentially. And so Valor was the oil that completely changed everything for me. And I was like, this is very different. So Valor is just, it's a blend of oils, and it comes from the name, or they get the name from, back in the day, the Roman soldiers, they would actually bathe in these herbs and different oil, or yeah, I'm pretty sure they bathed in them, but it literally just promoted feelings of confidence and bravery. And so that was like everything I needed postpartum. And I had no idea just how powerful essential oils could be. And what's so cool is we don't even have to take them internally. We can just smell them aromatically, and they actually reach, the molecules are so small, broken down, that they actually reach the limbic part of the brain, which is where emotions, trauma is stored, and all that. And so it's amazing that not even medication can actually reach this area in the brain, and they has the ability to alter that state or change, you know. And so for me, it's not like, yeah, it was just, it just blew my mind how I could just get through the day. I just felt different. I felt new. I felt just peace, you know, in a time that I really needed it. So that's kind of my journey. And then my friend Bethany, she's a total rock star in the business. And she's actually, it was my friend's sister, actually. So I kind of knew her, but I knew her brother more so. And she is just, so she's a diamond in Young Living. She has worked with them for 5 years, and I never even considered the network marketing world ever. But she inspired me so much, just in her way of being, her way of showing up authentically and serving. And I never felt like I was sold to, or none of that ick feeling that we have gotten from network marketers, you know. It was a very different experience. I'm like, there's something about this chick, you know, there's something that feels really good, and it feels really pure and authentic. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but she just asked me if I had any interest in sharing. And at first I was like, no, I don't, no, I don't want to do that. That isn't, I don't really want to sell things. I'm such a 2, I'm a helper. I can't persuade people to do anything, you know, like not at all. And, you know, and so, but she just said, no, it's not how we do things. Like, we've got training, you know, it's all, you know, it comes from our heart space. We're just here to serve people and help people if they choose to do that. We just want to empower them to choose for themselves. And I'm like, okay, I can vibe with that. And so that's essentially how I got started. So that was 2 years ago, and gosh, or sorry, it'll be 2 years in January. So I had no idea how much I needed this business. I will be honest. Not just because of the amazing community and the mamas that I've connected with, but that really 90% of it is personal development. And I was so much on that path of just rewiring my brain, becoming, you know, because it's all about the becoming to me, you know. And so it was a way for me, you know, and I've been plant-based, and I've really just, I wanted to help people so much. And gosh, because it was like back in 2012, I had heard about GMOs, you know, that was kind of the first awakening, GMOs, and how, you know, and then it just kind of completely unraveled. And I'm like, wow, we are way more messed up than I thought. You know, I had no idea. It's like you tap into one thing and you're like, whoa, everything else is terrifying. So it can be very overwhelming, and just like, how are we going to fix this? You know, how are we possibly going to move on from this way of life that we've been conditioned to live? And so I feel like in the past, you know, ever since I heard that back in 2012, I feel like ever since then, I've just been trying to find a way to serve people. But you know, it's like, okay, you're going to have to change your foods. You're going to have to exercise. You're going to have to ditch your cleaners and all the toxic stuff that you put on your body. You're going to have to do this. And it just felt like this like long list. And, you know, and at that point, people are like, why even try? And so I felt like there wasn't a good way for me to really guide people into this lifestyle that felt exciting and like, you know, an adventure, you know, because it should feel like that. It shouldn't feel like this task where, why should we have to undo all the bad in the world or whatever, you know. It should be this kind of like path to freedom. But I get that it doesn't always start feeling that way. So for me, I fell in love with Young Living. I fell in love with the lifestyle that they created, because they have so many supplements, so many, I buy my baby wipes and not only my oils, because I thought it was just an oil company, but they've got the cleaners. And so I feel like they tackle so much of kind of the toxic things that we would need to switch, things that are, you know, creating, you know, hormone imbalances and endocrine disruptors. I mean, just all these things that are just really throwing us off mentally, physically, and everywhere else. Because if we're getting thrown off in ways that we don't even know, how can we show up and, you know, be the light that we are and, you know, serve in the way that we want to? We can't, because we're, you know, just so yeah, it's wreaking havoc on our body. And so I just love that it's you know, I'm not just saying, okay, switch all your cleaners and switch all these things, and then they're like, okay, but where do I buy it? Where, you know, you go to the store and it says all natural and it says all pure and all these things, but then you find out they're not. They still have fragrance, they still have all these chemicals. It's just really pretty marketing. It's called greenwashing, and it's a scary thing. They just know really well. They know that we want the natural, they know that we want the support, they know that we want it discounted, so they're just fooling us. And I had no idea how messed up that was. And even essential oils, only 5% needs to be pure in the bottle at the store, and the rest can be fillers, and they can say 100% pure, 100% natural. What? They're not regulated. The FDA does not regulate these oils. They don't regulate our cleaners. It's terrifying. So I always share the documentary Stink as well. It's on Netflix. It's about, you know, all the chemicals, all the toxins in our products, in our clothes, like everything. And it's crazy world we live in. But essentially, I just, yeah, I fell in love with Young Living. I fell in love with the fact that, well, I ended up falling in love with the business. I had no idea I was tapping into this, but for me, you know, our team, my friend Bethany Shipley, it's like wellness, purpose, abundance. And that's what I have really found within this. I have found, you know, obviously the wellness support, and it really does work. And it's blown my mind what has been possible. And even every single day, you know, almost 2 years later, I'm still learning all the ways I can use the same oils I've had. And so it's really cool to know that I'm getting so much value out of this. And then the purpose has just been amazing. I've just wanted to find, obviously, I want to be a stay-at-home mama. I want to be with my boys. I don't want to have to, you know, spend so much time, so much money, so much like whatever, so much work out in the world and, you know, not giving that to my boys or myself, you know. And so I didn't realize how much of a blessing network marketing was. That, because I'm like, how am I supposed to make such an impact on the world? Like I want to, just me, you know, and that I can't. And I shouldn't have to, you know, and that's like the beautiful thing is I can inspire someone who's going to inspire somebody who's going to inspire, you know, and that's how we change the world. And I didn't realize that for me personally, network marketing was the path to that. And specifically with Young Living, just inspiring this change, inspiring this way of living and supporting the earth while we're at it, you know, because we got to take care of our mother. She's hurting, right? And yeah, so it feels like this beautiful way of living in harmony with the earth. And I've gotten, gosh, because there's been so much personal development and because it's just a new way of gosh, working this business. It's not about selling. It's just like listening, you know. It's like, what is missing for these people that I'm working with? And, you know, where can we use support? And sometimes, yes, sometimes it's wellness, but sometimes it's just purpose. Sometimes it's like, I need community. I need like-minded people and, you know, something that really fills me up. And I get excited every single day. Like can't believe, you know, that yeah, it's a dream job and I had no idea. And so, yeah, it's been such a blessing. And so I'm, you know, a silver with Young Living, which was kind of when I first started this, my husband and I were like, if we could get to this rank right here, it would change our life. I could, you know, we're close. I could bring my husband home from work, which he's works with heating and cooling. So he is actually at work right now, but he works really hard and, you know, with his hands, it gets cut and, you know, just all the things. And, that was something that I'm like, okay, he's a passionate musician. He plays reggae music. He's a beautiful, you know, songwriter. And I know that's like where he wants to just put all of his time and energy. And yeah, and I want to see him do that too. So his band is Seventh Fire, and it's beautiful. It's all about, so we're very similar, you know. Actually, he inspired me completely with natural living and everything. So if it wasn't for him, I would not be here. But Seventh Fire is just a Native American prophecy, and they don't mean to take the name and like own it like it's theirs. it's really like he's not even ever going to trademark it because it's not his. It's from what I know, it's essentially we are in the 7th fire right now, going into the 8th fire. Do you know about this? You may know more about this than me. um, but
share what you know.
Okay, yeah. So essentially, we've been on this path of destruction and separation, when we all feel that, especially now more than ever. And, and so now we're in a time of choice. Like, we can keep choosing this path of destruction and separation, or we can choose this new path, which is going into the 8th fire, the eternal fire. Hopefully I'm relaying the information correctly, but yeah, we're just in this time of choice. And so that's essentially the awareness that he's bringing through his music. And I just love his heart and soul so much. And so of course we have these big passions, and it's kind of funny because we are both very driven in what we want in our goals and our passions. And so finding that time during mama life, or just being parents is really interesting. It's a blessing, but it can be a challenge. And so, we're constantly, supporting each other in our dreams, and how cool is that? Like, we're rising up together, and I feel like that's how it should be. And, so yeah, very grateful for my partner and, my family, but, oh goodness. So yeah, sorry. Okay. So where was I going with this? So yeah, so I actually hit the rank of silver in July, which was, like I said, we looked at that goal when I first started and said, oh, if we could get here, this feels really scary and this feels really impossible, I'm not gonna lie, but if we could get here, this would change our life. This would bring abundance into our family. We'd be able to show up for the world like we've always wanted to, and we would be supported in that. And even as a 2, I always want to serve others before I even, before my cup is filled up sometime. It's this business, this path has actually shown me more self-love than I've ever experienced in my life, truly. And that's probably been one of the best gifts ever, because if we don't have self-love, it's hard for us to show up in the way that we want to, and yeah, so I've done very uncomfortable things, even something like this, it makes me a little nervous, and I get, some anxiety. So such a great reason to have oils, right? To have that emotional support. But, I've noticed that through doing the uncomfortable things, we're growing through it. We're just evolving. And if we're not stepping out of our comfort, if we're not leaning into the fear, if you're not growing, you're dying. That's kind of essentially that, the truth of that. And so and also, motion creates emotion. I love that. And so that's why people, love working out, and they love doing yoga, and love just moving your body moves you into a new state of being. And so, yes, I always, I may have this immediate response of, don't do it. That sounds scary. It sounds intimidating. But nothing, always good has come of it anytime I've leaned into the fear. And so it's been a major blessing. So yes, I truly am just so grateful to be on this path of serving. I didn't know I could serve in a way like this, to where I could be so filled up, to where I could serve and they feel filled up, and then, to have that abundance come back into my family, into my life. And so yeah, is there any questions you have? So I don't want to just I could just keep chatting, but I'd love to know maybe anything you'd love to ask, or what do you think?
Yes, great so far, all your great information.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I'm curious on, maybe some others maybe, is, your path of course, all natural, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But how, you said you haven't gone to the doctor and you stay home. Like, that is something we really do need to get back into, not giving our power away, because we know how to do these things. We've known for a long time, but we've been veered off and taken off, and society has shown us we need, everything from them,
right?
Not from each other and from ourselves. So you want to talk about how, lay down some fears people might have, and, if you want to share things that you do, when, sicknesses arise, or like, taking the worry away, and that importance of the connection of community and each other. I think that's what we're lacking a lot. talk
Yeah.
about division and separation. Yeah. And we're meant to be, you know, it takes a village, right? And we're meant to, we have to be whole ourselves and create this village again where we're helping each other, not these big companies and these big things that have no interest in us, really.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's see. I'll start with maybe talking about the home birth experience. And I really will say I was not like 100% confident at the beginning, even though I had lots of friends that did it. Of course, that fear was there. It was instilled in me. I was conditioned to have that fear. You know, is there any way I could possibly home birth? You know, like do it all myself. That sounded crazy. And so for me, of course, I found an amazing midwife who was going to walk me through it because I wasn't going to do that by myself, obviously. So that's my first recommendation. And, you know, when you get a midwife, they're going to qualify you. You may not be, you know, a good fit for home birth, and that's okay, you know. And I've heard that hospitals are getting more home birthing friendly and midwife friendly. So I really hope that's going to continue to grow. But Ina May, she completely, she brought a lot of peace and clarity to me through home birth. So she's a very famous midwife. Ina May's Guide to Childbirth, that's the book I read. And just anytime I felt a lot of fear or just like, oh gosh, I don't think I can do this, I would read that book. And the stories are phenomenal in there. There's hundreds of stories. 100. I mean, there's a lot of women's stories in there. And so just hearing other stories, we don't get to hear those stories, you know? And there's even amazing home birth groups on Facebook, and just tap into that community where people are going to be like-minded. And so Ina May, what I love is, yes, the stories, but also she really walks you through exactly what happens in the body and how your body does this, because it's phenomenal. Childbirth is phenomenal. It's like, what? How is this possible? And so gosh, it's just really empowering to know that, okay, my body, like she's stating it right here, my body's going to know exactly what to do. The you know, hormones are going to kick in, the adrenaline's going to kick in, I'm going to be able to get this baby out. You know, I didn't know these things before. I just thought, oh, you know, thinking about birthing a child right now, like, sounds impossible. But also, you know, those, gosh, those chemicals, that adrenaline's not running through me, you know? And so your body just, it knows exactly what to do. And so, yeah, that would be my first suggestion, is to get Ina May's Guide to Childbirth, to get into Facebook groups, to get plugged into people that have had this experience. And, you know, and then of course, obviously making sure that you're a good fit for it, because, yeah. And then, you know, I will say, I know that my mindset was everything going into this, because, you know, it's kind of funny. I just had another one a month ago, and very different experience. But oh goodness. So my husband, he's an identical twin, and him and his partner, actually, they got pregnant the same time we did. They were trying, we were not. So, but it's all perfect, right? So they were trying, and we ended up our due dates were 2 days apart. Talk about twinning, right? So weird. And our babies ended up being 3 weeks apart, so kind of funny. And she actually went first, and which was surprising because she was a first-time mom. I was a second-time mom, so I thought, oh, I'll definitely go first. You know, she's gonna go later because that's just how it goes. And no, oh my gosh, I went to 42 weeks, so I cooked for quite a while. And she made it to like 39, so still very healthy baby, totally good. But she, you know, I noticed her mindset was a lot different. She fears, oh my gosh, is he okay? Oh my gosh, did he get a sunburn? Oh my gosh, you know, these things. And my boy, he's in it, you know, and maybe this isn't it, but there's lots of factors that go into this, but he has just been calm, and he's been at peace, and he's just had nothing wrong with him, you know, literally, maybe some dry skin. Like that is it. He's just been a perfect baby, and I don't know how I got so blessed, but I also know that I had no worries. I had no fears. I was like, I'm capable. Oh, I wouldn't say that I had no fears. Okay, that's a stretch. Of course, there's some. I had a really long, intense labor with the first kid. And so it was hard for me to think, oh gosh, is it going to be that long again? Is it, oh my gosh, you know? But I knew if I could do that, I could do this again. Whatever I got coming, I can do this. I did that. Like, holy cow, I did that, you know? No sleep for 48 hours, just, whew, it was intense. But I knew my experience was, or I knew that if mama is at peace, your baby's going to be at peace. You know, they, from the womb, from when they're in the womb, they experience everything we're experiencing. So if we're experiencing stress, you know, anger, they're experiencing all of that. And so my midwife told me that with my first boy when I was pregnant with him, and that just really, like, that stuck with me, you know? And so just an interesting observation, just how important your mindset is and how it can create, you know, manifest out into the physical. And so I feel like just from all the worries, you know, he's had a little, my nephew, Bodhi, he's had a little more, what should I say? He's perfect and he's beautiful, but he's been a little more colicky. He was a little more jaundiced, you know, and she just had a lot of concerns. And I just noticed how that kind of transferred to him. But yeah, so I just feel like the mindset is everything, you know, and I don't know if you've ever heard this, but fear, and what do they say? False evidence appearing real. That's so true. So, you know, I've heard that and I'm like, that is so it. And yeah, so it's just this kind of illusion, and we can look through that lens if we want to, or we can put on a new lens, and it can still feel scary, and it's okay to feel that, you know, anxiety or, oh gosh, that anticipation, but to lean into it anyway. If your intuition is telling you lean in, you're capable. Like, we're capable of so much more, regardless of what the outside world has told us, you know. And so, okay, what else did you say? And, you know, my boys not being at a hospital, I attribute that not just to oils, just to the way that we live our life, you know, and we walk barefoot on the ground. You know, everything as simple as that, walking barefoot, connecting with the earth. And, you know, I don't even think you have to just be vegan, but eating plants, just eat plants. Whatever you do, just eat a lot of plants, right? And so I just feel like the way we live our life, you know, that's why they haven't been to a hospital. And, you know, we use thieves in the winter time, you know, because of course, you know, the cold weather sets in and we need that extra immune support. And so thieves is the immune supporting blend. And I love, another thing that's really neat about essential oils is they're nothing new to us, actually. These have been around for thousands of years. And so the story with thieves is back when they were dealing with the plague, these thieves would literally go rob the dead and dying, and they were stealing from these people. They eventually got caught, and the court system said, you know, okay, so as long as you tell us how you've not gotten this disease or this sickness, you know, we'll shorten your sentence, essentially. And so they literally told them that they, once again, I think they bathed, I'm not certain, or they got these herbs in their system somehow. I'm not exactly clear on that, but it's, you know, cinnamon, clove, lemon, eucalyptus, you know, all these plants, all these herbs, and they, yeah, just were able to stay well, to keep their immune system supported. And so that is where that story comes from. So it's kind of funny they stuck with the name thieves, but that is where it comes from. And so we have like a wellness roller. We'll put it on the bottom of our feet. So we do the thieves essential oil blend, and I'll put lemon and frankincense and oregano in there as well. And so I'll put that in a roller with fractionated coconut oil, and we put it under our feet at night, especially now as we're transitioning into the colder days. And yeah, and so just simple things like that. And even I have a powerful story with frankincense, actually, and it has to do with birthing as well. I thought there was many times in this last pregnancy, oh, it's happening. I'm having contractions. It's happening. There was this one time I was really certain it was happening. It was not happening. That was like a week before it happened, but I was certain it was happening. I was having contractions, and I was in bed at night, and I actually had a lot of anxiety, just like, and I was just so nervous, and I was actually shaking a lot, which was a really weird response. That's not a normal response for me. And I was shaking a lot. And my husband's like, "Are you cold?" And I'm like, "I am not cold. This is not about being cold." And he said, "Well, just like breathe." And I'm like, "I am breathing." Like I was breathing, and I couldn't stop the shakes. And I remembered, oh, frankincense, it calms the nervous system. And I had it near me. And so I put it on my head, and within, gosh, it was less than a minute. It blew my mind. I quit shaking completely. And it blew my mind just how quick that was. I mean, I'm a believer in essential oils, but that was bizarre. And so frankincense, yeah, I thought it was just amazing for like skin support and things like that. But the emotional support, the spiritual support of frankincense has just been a major blessing for me as well. So, okay, that's kind of my little wellness tips and yeah, what we've been doing to stay well. And let's see, I'm trying to think. Okay, so about, gosh, this separation, oh goodness. Yeah, we're going through some really interesting times right now, especially with this documentary. I haven't watched it, but The Social Dilemma, you know, we're being very much spoon-fed exactly what they want us to be when it comes to Facebook and Instagram. And it's very, yeah, and I don't even know how much I'll speak on that because I don't know, but it seems just, yeah, very interesting times we're going through. But with all the unknown, with all the uncertainty, you know, we're wearing masks and we're like keeping our distance, and you know, it's just, it can be very easy to be fearful and be worried. If they're wearing masks or you choose not to, or you know, yeah, it's never been a better time to love on your people in your life, to be connected, to reach out to that friend, to listen, to just, how are you, like really, how are you, you know, to ask those questions, because yeah, I feel like just the state of the world, they're really pushing for that separation. They're really pushing for it, whoever they is, you know. And but I know love wins, you know, I know it does, because it always does. And so yeah, I don't know what else I can say on that, but that's all I really want to say is just go love on your people, go count your blessings. That's been one of the best things I've ever done. And it seems so simple and silly, you know, waking up every single morning, but just writing down 10 things every morning, you guys, of what you're grateful for. It's okay if it's the same thing. We can count our blessings on the same thing every day, but you're starting out your day with, this is what is going so well in my life, that guess what? You're going to find more things of what's going well. You're going to attract some more things of what's going well. Because if we start out our day with, you know, oh, I spilt my coffee. Oh, dang, this is going wrong. And we're counting all the things that are going wrong. Guess what? We're going to find more of what's going wrong. It's inevitable. And so I can't talk up just, you know, simple gratitude practice every single morning, because where your focus goes, energy flows. And so if our thoughts are on what's going well and just all the beauty around us, yeah, we're just going to attract more of that. And so, you know, and I want to say it right now. It's really crazy to kind of all these things in my life. Like, yes, I'm a photographer and fall's really busy right now. It's been fun, but you know, and I work from home and I've got 2 boys, and you know, we're plant-based, so you know, we do a lot of cooking, a lot of cooking from home, which I love, but it is work. But you know, it feels, a lot of people are like, how do you do all these things? You know, and it's beautiful, and I wonder it too. But you know, one of the most powerful things I've ever heard, it was just from this gal I look up to, but use your kids as your motivation, not your excuse. Because so many of us limit ourselves because, well, you know, the kid had a rough day, so I just decide not to do what, you know, we often will put the blame over here on them, and we love them. And I have no doubt, you know, it's like, I've done it too. We all kind of can get in that space easily. But at the end of, you know, I just don't maintain that energy. It's not that I won't get negative. It's not that, yeah, bad things doesn't happen in my life or in my daily routine. You know, things get mixed up all the time. You know, the unexpected happens, but I'm just not going to keep feeding that energy. I'm not going to keep, well, if this just didn't happen today, you know, my whole rest of my day, you know. So I just love that so much. Using your kids as your motivation, not your excuse. And yeah, you know, and I'm not settled with the way the world's going. You know, it doesn't feel good, you know, but I know it, and I will say that. So when the whole pandemic happened, what was it, back in March, I think, right? February, March, something like that. It felt like a really weird time to be a network marketer, in my opinion. It just felt weird to show up and try to like sell stuff. Not that that's ever my intention. I you know, I'm very clear that I'm very grounded in that. I'm serving people and they're, you know, so that wasn't the concern, but it felt like, okay, this is really hurting some people. I will say it's been a blessing to my life. My husband's been home a lot more, and we've had a lot more family time. So there's been a lot of blessing in the chaos, but it felt like a weird time to show up and be so positive. Like, I'm just a very positive person. I'm always looking for the good, but it kind of felt weird because I didn't want to feel insensitive to what people were going through, you know? And so, but then I realized, I don't know, it just hit me one day. Like, I remember not showing up for probably a week, just sitting with how do I go on with this? How do I go with what's going on in the world? But I realized just now more than ever, I needed to show up in my power, you know, because I'm not okay with my kids growing up in this kind of world. And it's not like it just takes me, but it takes all of us. And in order for, you know, someone I love to show up, I probably need to show up in my light, you know, because we all just help each other shine, in my opinion. And yeah, so it's not always easy. And it takes just to continue showing up and serving and taking care of yourself. If we're not taking care of ourselves, we cannot show up and serve anybody. And so as a 2, I've learned that a lot, that I cannot fill up anybody's cup, just like no one can fill up my cup. And, excuse me. So, yes. Yeah. Just show up and support each other. The more we do that, the more that love grows, the more that we all just will connect and, yeah, create this new earth. That's how I feel. So I hope that kind of answers your question. That's just kind of what flowed through me. So anything else that I should touch on?
Yes, no, that was all great. And I agree with you completely, you know, just supporting each other, helping each other, shining our lights together. And that self-care is so very important. And all of it.
I'm so glad.
True.
Yeah, and you're amazing. And I have yet to really get to know you, but just even you on this platform, you're doing just that. Like, you're shining your light, you're helping others shine their light. And yeah, so what a blessing what you've created is. I mean, that's just amazing. So thank you for real having me on here and just shining your light. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
We're all in this. We are all in this together. The New Earth way, you know, us really coming together and being that beacon and and helping each other along the way. It's so important, and helping to bring out, you know, show others that natural is the way. It really is, you know, going back to our roots really is the way, and making that connection of heaven and earth and us and all that is. So
yeah. I love that. Yes, agreed. Oh,
yes.
Awesome.
So I guess, how about, do you have any heart-melting moments? Well, we do. Of course, we have so many heart-melting moments, but, you know, some of your favorites with your kids.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Heart-melting moments. Gosh, like all day, every day. But it's so in the, like, it's in just the ordinary everyday, honestly, because sometimes I just get so present to, like, wow, like it could be so simple. Like, he's been saying, I mean, my 2-year-old, he's just always, you know, not crying out for mama, but just always mama, mama, you know, and it's just the sweetest. So it's not even just necessarily just one epic moment, but it's just all those little moments in the everyday, you know, that maybe some people, or sometimes I don't always catch, but sometimes I just get so present. I don't care about anything that's happening. And I'm like, wow, this is never going to happen again, you know? And yes, he'll say mama again. He'll do all that. But yeah, just little sweet moments. And gosh, so many sweet baby bliss moments with Indigo. He's like sleeping in a little mobile rocker right behind me. Yeah, and he's in the newborn snuggles. And so, yeah, there's so much. And yeah, and he's like my little, I mean, it's funny, his name is Indigo, and he's like, we're pretty sure he has blue eyes, and we both have brown eyes. We've got, my my mother-in-law, she's got greenish eyes, but she's got blue eyes in her family. So we'll see if he's going to remain a blue-eyed boy. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of specific ones, but I mean, it really is just, there's so many moments every day that I just soak it all in, just because I know it does not last, you know. Such a blessing, but yeah. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay. Yes, I know what you mean, and I'm a boy mom too, so I've got 3 boys, and I thought I wanted a girl as well, but nope, I'm loving the boys, although they can be pretty rambunctious, but
yeah. And do you have 1 or 2?
3.
Oh, you have 3. That's
yep,
awesome.
3.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool. Very cool. And how old are they?
Mine are 9, 2, and 3. So.
Wow, that's a party.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. That is awesome. Yep, I'm a fan of the boy mamas.
Yes. Okay, I guess to close out, so just anything you'd like to share, like words of advice, opinions going forward, and then we can close out with your information, like where people can find you.
Okay, cool. I would say gosh, it's so important that we figure out how to be a creator with our mind and our thoughts. And so once again, for me personally, Abraham Hicks, I listen to her on YouTube when I feel like I just need help just getting in a positive state or getting in a place of joy. Or Dr. Joe Dispenza, he will just empower you to rewire your brain. And it sounds crazy, right? But it's just so important, because if we are just powerful manifestors, and we don't always manifest what we want, but yet it is our doing. And so if we can create, negative things happening in our world, we can create positive things. And so it's been very empowering listening to these guys, and have a gratitude practice, and just count your blessings, write down affirmations on a vision board, whatever feels really good to you. It might feel silly, but it's going to change your life. And the more you put it out there and you keep saying those affirmations, it's going to show up, and you're going to surprise yourself. And then just keep doing it, and it's going to blow your mind what you can create in your life. So it really starts by being. We don't have to work really hard to get what we want. We got to start by being the beautiful person that we know we are, regardless if we believe it right now. We know that's what's in our heart. And so if we be that, we're going to have the results that we want in our life. So for me, I think gratitude, having positive mindset, affirmations, that's kind of my advice.
Yes, lovely. I agree. Our thoughts really are everything. And even when we look, have you seen the things done, of course, with the writing, hate versus love, and our thoughts, and how it affects water. And of course, we're most made up of water. So all that is so interesting.
Yeah, we're 75+% water. Absolutely. Yeah. Dr. Emoto's work. I love that. That's awesome. Very cool. Yep. So, I think that's what I got.
All right. Great. Thank you. And where can people find you in your work?
Yeah. So you can, let's see, I'm really active on Instagram. So oh my gosh, I don't know if there's a way to write it. I don't know if you're going to do anything with the video.
Yep, I will. I'll write it all in.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's just the @ and then what is that? Oh my gosh, underscore. Is that what that line is called? Okay.
I think so.
It's just that underscore. I'm like, wow, I should probably figure this out. It's underscore Paige, PAIGE, SIERRA, and then another underscore. So I will, give it to you. But Paige Sierra, that's my middle name. And then on Facebook, Paige Stanton. So I would love to connect with anybody. Yeah. Thank you. Yep.
And then we'll share your all that information, and then your site for your oils that you do for Young Living. We'll include that also.
Awesome. And thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, and I so appreciate you and all the work you do, and so lovely. I'm so glad to share these stories and everybody I get to connect with, and we'll stay in touch for sure. Thank you for being
Yes.
a leader in this new way.
Oh, you too. Thank you, for real. Yeah, you're a beautiful soul. Thank you.
For full episodes and so much more exclusive content, become a patron at patreon.com/AmberCelestialAngel or visit AmberCelestialAngel.com for info on the course just for mothers so you can start living your purpose and dreams. Other services offered are there as well. Follow on YouTube, Amber Celestial Angel. Like, share, subscribe for so much free content. Thank you all.